This week on the Spike and Jones podcast.
The Spike and Jones podcast. Is it Spike and Jones? That's how old it's been. The Spike and Jones podcast is out of prison. We're coming home. We've done our time. Tie yellow ribbon around your radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Spike and Jones.
How much can we talk about this at all? Probably not, right? It's a little premature. I mean, you're not there.
No, I think,
it's public knowledge,
but
not necessarily. Obviously, we're not going to talk about contracts and whatnot.
Right, of course.
But
we can talk about what it's been like to work for. I don't know who
for a descending ship
to be on a train track into a fog bank,
right?
Knowing there's a bridge out somewhere,
right? I was thinking it was like The Big Short when I walked in today. It's like the space was actually vibrating.
Yeah.
When I went up to the second floor to use the restroom, and the conference room is full of all the people, I turn and I see Bryn, and I go, "Oh, they're having the meeting," right? You know what I mean? And then I see Carrie and a few others, and I'm like, "Oh my God, it's happening!" And I was wondering how many were going to walk out with their boxes,
boxes of scuffins.
Yeah. So
it's been a brutal year.
Yeah.
Because this was announced 10 months ago.
Yeah, so maybe fill in the listeners
okay.
what at least we're kind of dancing around here.
As you know, radio in this city of Seattle and beyond, if you know your local stations, I'll put it in perspective everybody can understand. All that matters to you is the people that talk to you and the music that they play or the sports that they cover or whatever it is, the commercials that they play. It doesn't matter to you who is the owning company of that radio station, who signs their paychecks, who provides their health insurance, who's the bottom line on their business card. None of that matters to you folks at home. It may matter in so much that other companies have different products and features that we can extend through our stations.
Right.
That being said, earlier this year, it was announced that the group that owns all of the stations I work with in Seattle, CBS Radio, had entered into an agreement to merge with another radio company, Entercom, who owns the KISW, Wolf, and stations here in town. So two radio groups are going to merge to make one big group. And that's big doings because it will then become the biggest radio company in America. Problem is the government says you can only own so many stations per market. They cap out how many stations you can own. I think it's 5 and 2 or 4 and 3 or something. FM, AM.
What is the? Oh, okay, and I get it. The AM side,
right? You can own a combination.
What's AM?
Yeah, where sports live.
Ask Jason Rance. No,
where it's where conservative radio lives.
No, I know.
It's good for conservative radio because you can pick it up better when your mouth is open while you breathe. That's why conservative radio lives on AM radio.
Well, I was actually going to say it's because the radio wave actually makes it over the mountains.
Well, AM travels better than FM.
Right.
It really
because
does.
Did you know why?
It goes up. Not
because
out.
Right, correct. Instead of this way, it goes this way.
Right.
Yeah. And that's great radio, by the way. What I was just doing.
He's doing a noodle as opposed to a sideways snake.
A sidewinder.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So when the merge was announced, it was known that they couldn't keep all the stations in these two groups, and some of us were going to be sold or traded to other radio companies.
Wow.
And this went on for 7 months. Knowing that the merger was coming and we didn't have a firm date, and the date we had was constantly being pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. A month ago, it was announced who was getting sold and who was moving on to the big company.
And I do not know about this because I was sick.
Right.
So all brand new news.
Right. And none of this it's industry-wide knowledge. It's public knowledge within the industry. But as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't really relate to our audience. It's not relevant. People don't care. But it was announced that KZOK and Jack FM and 1090 The Fan were not going to be part of the new merged group.
Wow.
They were going to be sold or spun off to other radio groups, and we had no idea who. And so for a month, we lived in that world.
Yeah, party.
Who's going to be, and so speculation abounded. Every group in town was like, "Oh, we've made an offer, and you guys are going to this, you guys are going to there, and that group, and you'll be working in Eastgate, you'll be working on Westlake, or you'll be working in Elliott Bay, or you'll be, it's like the uncertainty of a month of that, a month,
or even having a job,
right, because when stations merge, middle management becomes redundant, and two sales forces have too many salespeople
Right.
when you merge. There's the cut line.
Well, Mark's going with you. Isn't that? Wait a minute. Did I say that wrong? It's not Mark.
Matt.
Matt's going with you.
Matt will. Yeah, Matt's been offered a job.
Yeah.
It's been chaos.
Yeah.
And it's been mayhem and panic and dread for a fucking year.
Wow.
Well, it was announced where we were going.
Yeah.
The 3 stations were picked up by the iHeartRadio group.
Congratulations.
Yes,
This is where I put in the background. Yeah.
Now I have a track record with iHeart.
Mm-hmm.
When the Bob Rivers, what? I was going to say history. I thought that was too pejorative.
Oh no, this is good. I'm just going to sit here with my pink socks. Look at that, dude. Pink
Pretty
socks
great.
and blue suede shoes.
Pretty great.
Yeah. Anyway,
When the Bob Rivers show in 2010 left CBS, we went to iHeartRadio.
right.
And then after a 5-year run there, Bob retired.
Best time of your life, buddy.
Best time of my life. That was the beginning of the longest and most unpleasant part of my life. That still goes on to this day.
Sure.
So yeah, we were going back to iHeart.
I want to go so deep there.
I know you do, and we've kind of touched on these topics before.
I know.
So people who listen to this podcast with any regularity kind of know the backstory.
Yeah.
Well, that being said, and given the fact that I've got, let's call it a history.
History with with some motive behind it. Anyway.
Well, anytime that a company takes over a station, there's uncertainty as to, will things stay the same? Will massive changes be made?
Right.
Whenever you get a new owner, you pass out bingo cards among the staff with a new owner phrases like "not looking to make any changes," "looking forward to working with each and every one of you." Don't want to mess up a good thing.
Yeah.
These are the catchphrases that you always hear under a takeover. And so, you get the free space in the middle, and it's always pleasant when somebody in the room yells bingo.
Yeah.
In the middle of a huge
there's an
meeting.
ellipses in the middle.
So, I know there was the uncertainty of, okay, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And we each got to meet with our new management team. And actually the gentleman who decided to go a different direction than me when we left, when Bob retired, is the guy who's deciding everything.
Oh, great.
No, it is great.
No.
Because his comments to me were complimentary and respectful.
So at least he had a good experience.
Well, everybody that came from management over there was like, look, we're thrilled to have you back in our building. Things didn't go your way when you left, and you handled yourself with class.
Yeah, you're a sweetheart of a guy.
Yeah, it's everybody in this building is looking forward to you coming back to work with us. And that's before we get to your talent. We made a decision to go in another direction that hadn't really worked out that well.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're back on the radio, and it's working out really well.
Well, as I've said to you, this is not blowing smoke up your tailpipe. You're obviously easy to like, easy to love.
Yeah, you're sweet.
But the funny thing is I've told you this I've been way before I met you. Of course, I listened to you and Bob and Joe for freaking 20 years. I certainly was aware of your political bent, your sense of humor, your style, and even though I remember driving. I live out in the Snoqualmie area, and I remember driving into Bellevue back in the early 2000s, going, "Oh God, this guy and his political," which was so liberal compared to my of slightly conservative moderacy. But to me, it was just so hyper the other way.
Yeah.
But I always recognized the sweet-natured guy who just cared a lot and wanted to make sure that, one, his opinion was known, and two, if I could sway somebody to show them that, this is at least a good way to consider, not necessarily to live. You don't have to be like me, but to consider, maybe it's worth sticking my nose out. And I think the greatest part about that is that translates really well into this podcast. As our listeners have heard many times, my mom says all the time, I've never met that guy, but wow, he's great. She really, really, I know she would, it's almost like she knows you, having this experience, listening to you with her son, on this show.
Right.
And the day comes when she meets you, she's going to feel like you're an old friend.
That's the greatest compliment you can get.
Yeah.
When you do what I do.
Yeah.
What we do.
Yeah.
And for someone to feel that they know you and they look forward to knowing what you think and what you're doing and how you are.
Yeah.
That's the greatest compliment.
So I hope, admittedly, I don't think we're going to have any issues, but I hope, this doesn't get shut down when the everything is complete, or we have to really sort of derail it or turn it into something that it currently isn't. And granted, maybe, I don't know. I'm a big fan of change in the sense of if it can make it better. And I'm not talking about, making it famous or bringing it on board staff. That's not what I mean. But, they might just say, look, your product, your talent, and this is something we're not going to allow you to do. Mm-hmm. They could do that.
If I were to sign a contract that allowed them to do that,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're not going to give up a significant living to podcast with Rob Jones once a week.
I might. You don't know. No.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Well, it's one of the things that I make sure that having done this now for 30 years, I make sure that when they do make an offer, they make concessions to what's important to me. And one of the things I always insist upon is that I work for you, but you don't own what I make.
Yeah, yeah.
And
like the Twisted Tunes, right?
Exactly. And the legacy, if I may be so bold, the persona that I've crafted for worse or better in this market is mine to put value on and to make a living with. And if I want to represent things outside of the realm of my radio gig, I have the right to do that. I own my likeness. I own my brand.
Yeah, that's great.
It's important.
Well, it's going to change what you and Nate do. I imagine.
I don't know that. Well, that one of the things that when we get into these meetings with new management and a new owner, they ask, because since I've worked for these guys before, they're like, well, what's the biggest fear? And what's the vibe over there?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, we're all kind of worried that someone will come in and try to tell us how to do what we already know how to do.
Right.
And try to tell us that their way's better, even though our way works and works well. And their response was, well, that's the last thing we want to do is get in the way of a good thing. We don't want to screw something up. We didn't pick up radio stations that were broken and needed to be fixed. We picked up radio stations that were valuable properties.
Right.
And we want to make sure that we capitalize on the quality of work you do and the value that you bring.
Well, you're clearly a commodity, and you are a well-known commodity in that previous space. When you were at iHeart before, you were with Bob and Joe and everybody else, and you clearly had to define this is who you guys were as a team. This is what you did, right? This was your MO.
Right.
And, excuse me, when you came to CBS, obviously that was flipped on its head significantly.
Sure. Right.
I can't imagine. And granted, I have no idea, but my brain tells me, well, geez, if I'm iHeart and I'm getting, a leg of that show back, I'm going to let that leg do what it did. Because that was valuable. I hope that's what happens, because I really would love to hear the show turn into a quote unquote a variety show rather than a music show. And not to knock music, and granted, maybe that's what they really want to have, right? They want to have, they already have afternoon drive, if you will, right, with other stations, don't they? iHeart don't they?
Yeah, well, afternoon drive is afternoon drive. It's most.
Well, I know, but
what does the competitive arena look like in the marketplace? More so, less than the group, the radio group.
Right.
What is it in the marketplace?
Right.
There's a show in town that does very, very well, Afternoon Drive, that's more talk than music.
Yeah.
So our boss wanted to be an alternative that was more music than talk, but with enough talk that kept it engaging and kept you entertained and brought you back the next day.
Have you found, though, that the ratings say when you guys stop talking at the top of the hour, people switch channels? Because I do.
Yeah.
I do. I flip. Yeah. I come back at 10 till. That's what I do.
Yeah.
It's awful, but it's the truth.
There are people there are people that do both.
Yeah.
You have to find that median. And plus, Nate and I are doing something new.
Yeah.
And we're still learning each other. And we're getting better.
Yeah.
And we're getting a chemistry. But we're learning it as we go.
Yeah.
So, that's what my world's been like for the last month or so.
Wow.
But this is good.
Yeah.
There, as you know, when I was without a radio spot, they brought me in to let me sell radio. And I did that for a while, for a year and a half or a year and a quarter. And then they found a place to put me on the radio. And they asked me to do both because they really couldn't afford to pay me what I needed to make for my fans. What about, ego? It was about, family.
Right.
So they asked me to do both for a year. But now I'm going to go back and just do radio and focus on it full time.
Yeah.
And be able to take care of my family doing that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man.
It's cool. This last couple of years was me trying to build a bridge. Well, we're on the other side now.
Yeah.
We made it over the bridge.
Wow. I'm really, really happy for you.
Thanks.
I'm real excited. I mean, again, coming in this morning and seeing that group of people in the room, I was like, uh-oh. What am I going to walk into?
It's a weird place. I mean, I think everyone out there has been through a moment where, big change is coming. And it's not the same big change for everybody in your building or your group.
Yeah.
And some of the people, this is a very bad day for.
Yeah. Well, when you're nearing the end of a fiscal year and there's a whole bunch of people in a room, you kind of wonder if you're going to walk with a box.
Well, it's everybody doesn't have the same fate in this building after the last year.
Yeah.
Over the last 2 months. A lot of people's fates are much, much different than mine. People that I work with and work alongside, and it's an interesting dynamic.
Well, you have legacy talent. It is what it is. I mean, it is.
That's true, and that's been, it's helped me tremendously.
Yeah.
The big kahunas around here, the corner offices, Mahogany Row, as we call it.
Yeah.
Those guys didn't fare well.
Mahogany. Are you serious? Yeah. Really? Those guys didn't fare well?
They didn't fare well.
Really?
Because when you are merging groups, what you have too many of is
middle management.
Chiefs.
Yeah. Too much. What did they call it? Ineffectual middle management suck-ups?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, these were
these were the upper middle management.
These were the corner offices.
Okay.
And the head of our group here in Seattle.
Wow.
It wasn't needed in the merger.
Well, it makes sense.
But I went into him his last day was recently, and I went into him and thanked him.
Yeah.
Because he took a leap of faith.
Yeah.
Letting a bunch of his underlings talk him into letting me come in and do this.
But a guy like that gets a gig. Pretty much.
He'll get it. He gets a severance. He'll get a gig. I feel bad for him as he sits in Aruba for 6 weeks or whatever.
Dipping his feet in the white sand.
Yeah, man. With umbrella drinks, whatever.
Wow.
But he took a chance and allowed me the opportunity, and it paid out well for me, and I did well for him.
Yeah.
One thing he said when I thanked him for the opportunity, he's like, "Dude, you kidding? You've been very good for us." Yeah. From a number standpoint, from a rating standpoint, from a chemistry in the building standpoint, because you're a good employee to have. Which is when you hear that from the guy you're leaving and the guy that's picking you up, both say the same thing. That's a pretty good freaking day, man.
Yeah, I agree. So I was.
My dog loves me. My wife's happy. I got a job.
Your dog's still alive.
My dog loves me, man. My dog's crazy about me.
Yeah.
I come home from a long day and I put my feet up in the couch and she's like, first, when I get in the house, she just runs from corner to house to corner to house. She gets the zoomies just back and forth, we just zip, 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 tail wagging, tongue hanging out, big smile on her face. I sit on the couch, put my feet up, and she's got her head in my lap. She's sitting next to me with her chin on my leg there, and I'm rubbing the back of her head. It sounds like my wife, but it's not. It's my dog.
It sounds hot. So I didn't know what to. I mean, I don't know if you had any idea. I really, truly didn't know what to do today. I didn't know if we should
harassment.
Play catch up.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
or
what a
we should
world!
Try to actually do a show on a topic.
The planet is just spinning out of control.
I mean, people die from all these gun incidents. I moved. I got really sick again with, I should say I got a recurrence of pneumonia and had to take
a relapse.
I had to take a drug that kills people. Mm-hmm. I mean, I had to take a really hardcore, there's that sound. Oh, I bet you drug. When we said drug, the little coin dropped in. But I mean, we've done a lot of weird. There's a lot of stuff that's happened, and I don't know if people necessarily really want to hear our lives again. But I think it might be fun to just play catch up today, and then when we get back together, we can, I don't know, we can do a deep six on poop or something.
Or Christmas.
Christmas?
The holidays. Can we say Christmas?
We can. Merry Christmas.
Merry fucking Christmas.
I was actually gonna do that.
Thanks.
But I was thinking of my mom.
I was thinking of your mom too.
That's hot.
Oh God.
We should just end it right there. No, we did a Christmas. We did a holiday episode last year.
Yeah.
We talked about your family and the 9 tables in the giant house and everybody running around and all the food, like the 9 turkeys and all that stuff. Yeah. And then, we did talk about happy holidays and Christmas and the difference in the fight over that. And so maybe we'll just replay that episode. I don't know.
We can talk about ass grabbing. That seemed to be a topic of the day. Huh?
Ass grabbing. I mean, okay. I guess I can throw him under the bus a little. So I wanted to interview Tom Sizemore. Mm-hmm. And
now, let me, before we move any further, Tom Sizemore's deceased, right?
No.
Tom Sizemore's not dead?
No. Tom Sizemore, the actor,
I know who he is.
Who was in Natural Born Killers and
Tom Sizemore was in
he was in Heart and Souls. He's been in a ton. He's been in a ton.
He's been in he's been in so many. I'm trying to think of the one scene that I know him for. But he was in Saving Private Ryan.
Yes,
he's
to me, he's almost like the best part of Saving Private Ryan.
Right,
he's a great character.
Enemy of the State.
Yes, he's a great actor.
He's the mobster in Enemy of the State, right?
Correct.
He's not deceased.
No,
are you sure?
Yes.
I'm going to Google it while you talk because I don't
alive.
believe it.
I just talked to him the other day.
Did you? Okay.
And again, this is not throwing him under the bus. But he recently was added to the list of actors and or people in Hollywood that have offended the feminine wiles of various women along the way, and his was extreme because it was accused of sexual proclivities with an 11-year-old
on the set of a show he was doing.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
And he released a statement yesterday. Granted, I thought it was kind of odd because it was on Twitter, but he released a statement yesterday that basically said, my attorneys told me this to not say anything, and I'm saying, fuck you, I'm going to do it anyway. And basically just said, here's what I think people thought based on X, and here's what I did, here's what really, here's all the what really happened stuff.
Right.
And basically like that. And I was like, well, there it is. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
What do you mean there it is?
There it is in the sense of I kind of admired it. I'm not saying it's. Look, I don't believe.
Right. I'm
not going to ever.
I'll cop to being an asshole, but deny being but refuse to accept I'm a monster.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
And that was exactly what he said in his statement. I'm a cluster. I've done this and this and this. I've had serious drug issues. I get it.
There's
stuff I might not even remember.
Right. Right.
But I would never. Ever. Right, and I was like, good for you, dude.
Yeah, I hear you.
Good for you. You know?
I'm watching the Al Franken meltdown. But you know what? But is there a better way to handle it than he's doing?
I knew you were going to do this.
Why?
Because I was like looking forward to the defense of Al Franken today.
Well, okay.
I actually will defend
there
him
is
too.
There is no defense of Al.
And I'm not touching her.
I'm not giving a defense of Al Franken.
He's not touching her.
I agree. Most predators don't pose for their pictures.
I know that's a pretty stupid thing.
Yeah, I've
done similar stuff.
And it's funny because all of a sudden Al Franken is Roy Moore, is Harvey Weinstein, is
he's just one of
is
many.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Okay, Al Franken. First off, he was a comedian, not a politician. That makes no difference when you treat women like shit.
Correct.
It makes no difference.
However, it does explain.
It does explain the circumstance
some poor
of
choices.
The circumstance of being in opportunities to make really shitty decisions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll give you that.
Yeah.
So anybody that says it doesn't matter what he did for his politician, I point to the president.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because if it doesn't matter for Al Franken, if it still matters for Al Franken, it still fucking matters for Donald Trump.
Right.
Okay, and Al Franken saying, you know what, that's not how I remember the incident, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I offended this woman, and I am forever. So I will be forever sorry, and that doesn't matter either.
Right.
All that matters is the fact that I am a better person now. I stand for better things. I work toward better things. Mm-hmm. I welcome an investigation. I encourage and will cooperate with an investigation into this matter.
Yeah.
That's how Al Franken. And that's not a defense of Al Franken.
No, I totally understand.
It's a defense of his actions in the past, the present, and moving forward.
We have all. I mean, I hate it.
I've been doing this on air for a month.
Where I'm going with that.
I know, yeah, and probably the same place I'm going. I've been a cad.
Yeah, same.
In my life.
I mean, I still am a cad.
I can still be a cad.
Yeah.
I still have. It's in there.
Yeah,
it's still in there.
A cad.
I have never been an assailant.
Scallywag.
You know, I have never been an. I've
been assailed.
I have never assaulted anyone.
I've been assailed.
Have you? See, that's.
Seriously,
I'm sure. I don't doubt you. I can knock wood. I haven't.
I never thought about it. Seriously, can I interrupt you?
Of course.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to say this, and this is going to freak my friends and my family out. This is going to freak people out, and maybe even embarrass them. But they're just going to have to deal with it because this is me. When the whole what was it? What the hashtag thing started happening? Me too. You know, all the women talking about abuse, and then of course all the men, which is lame. My eyes roll when they start doing it too. And I'm not saying that there aren't men that have been accosted. There are clearly, but it also felt like that. Well, all lives matter with Black Lives Matter thing. It's like quit usurping my thing. This is my thing.
Right? No,
Let me have my thing.
I hear you.
You know, but. You know, I never ever thought about it until that stupid hashtag came out. And then it occurred to me, I was raped. Yeah. In 1987, on Christmas holiday, I was in the Navy. I had joined the military in the middle of 87, and I was home on leave. Excuse me. Hang on, I'm going to mute it. Hey, you like that, Spike?
I got some mommy.
Okay. And I was down in Portland, and I went out with my buddy Tony, who was a friend of mine from college. We had lived together before I had joined the Navy. And I was home visiting him. And we did what you do when you're 21 years old. You go out and you cruise. You cruise for chicks. That's what we were doing, And we were driving around downtown Portland. And we went to this restaurant we always went to, and we ordered this drink we always ordered. Although now it was finally legal for me to drink it because I was actually 21.
Happy birthday! I'll have the usual.
Exactly. I didn't fake it. And I remember even going in, the lady going, I said, it's my birthday, and she goes, how old are you today? I was like, 22.
How long have I been coming here?
Exactly. Yeah. But anyway, we were drinking, and there was these two girls sitting about two booths away, and one was really, really gorgeous, and one was not.
And then there's one you had.
Well, I'm just saying there was one that was really gorgeous.
You, wingman.
And there was one that wasn't.
Taking one for the team.
And Tony and I, neither of us are.
No one will know about this.
Neither of us are Tom Cruise. We're more Tom Sizemore. You know what I mean? And needless to say, we ended up kind of spending some time with them, and we were both vying for the affections of the hot one.
That's what you did.
And I don't know. We ended up driving to the store and got more like wine coolers back in the day. Sure. And then we went up to Washington Park, which is this rose garden in the western part of Portland. And we, at midnight, we're walking around the park, and the gorgeous girl's hanging with me. And the other girl's hanging out with my buddy Tony. I'm thinking like, this is looking pretty good, We end up going all back to Tony's place. And by the time we got there, we were lit. And anybody who knows me knows I never, ever, ever drink to excess. I mean, I rarely drink. I mean, I probably have 2 drinks a year. I mean, I just don't drink. And so I think I've been drunk twice in my life.
Okay.
And this was one of those times. And I was really, really lit. And we were at the house, and apparently I was lit enough that the girl that was interested in me was now no longer interested in me. And maybe I don't know. Maybe I said something. Maybe I acted just like an idiot. Maybe I was just being drunk. I don't know.
Maybe just couldn't come up with a business.
Right. So I just went to bed.
Yeah.
And I woke up to a girl having sex with me. The other one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Brunhilde.
Yeah. Now think about this.
Yeah.
Now this is so sorry, Mom.
Yeah.
But she's just going for it.
Yeah.
And I have joked about this for years that when I thought, well, this is happening, I might as well just accept it.
Right.
Yeah.
Which,
I mean, if it were a man doing that to a woman,
that's rape.
So what's the difference, right?
There's no difference.
And so there's no difference. And so, but I remember, so I've always kind of made fun of it because I remember like, my head's bobbing and I reach around and I can't touch my fingers because she's a large woman.
Yeah.
And I remember going, oh, well,
Thank God it's pre-internet.
And she, I guess, finished, if you will.
Yeah.
And got up and put her clothes on and walked out, and that was it.
Yeah.
And when I got up I went back to sleep because I was still really buzzed out of it.
Right.
When I woke up the next morning, the girls were gone, and to this day, I've wondered, did I get somebody pregnant that I was raped by? Seriously.
No, I hear you.
It's just weird stuff. In fact, I actually don't know if I even finished, right?
Right.
So I know this is weird to talk about, but it happened to me. And I never thought of it as rape. I always thought it was this silly story about this big girl that basically, took advantage of this poor guy.
Yeah.
And the fact is, I was raped.
But it happens every day.
Yeah.
And it does happen both ways.
Yeah.
I would venture to assume the equation is 90-10, 80-20.
Meaning
men taking advantage of women.
I bet you it's like 95-5.
95-5. Yeah. That's probably truer than 80-20.
Yeah. We're all testicles all the time.
It doesn't diminish your victimness hood.
No.
It's everywhere. And that's what we're finding out now is it's always been everywhere.
Yeah.
But now there's an empowerment movement.
Yeah.
This isn't it's an uncovering of the prevalence of this mentality, but it's an empowerment movement. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Getting back to Al Franken, the lady who makes this accusation and makes this acknowledgement more than an accusation. Okay, it's not an accusation. It's her story, and he's owning it. I've heard, and these days as we're so awash in bullshit.
Yeah.
I've heard, the photographer who took the picture said she wasn't asleep. She was pretending to be asleep, and it was a staged photo.
Yeah.
So her statement that he groped me in my sleep.
Well, he's not touching her in the photo.
Right.
Clearly.
Right. There's the, we were rehearsing this skit that I was unwanting to, but agreed to. And in the middle of this, he grabbed the back of my head and stuck his tongue in my mouth. Then he groped me in my sleep. Those are two very different instances. I'm not saying that somebody sticking their tongue down your throat isn't.
If that's real, it's indefensible.
That's indefensible.
Yeah.
But that's a far cry from groping somebody in their sleep.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's my point. If she has taken this to a level of disingenuous accusation with the groping me in my sleep thing, then it's pure politics. Then she is diminishing every victim anywhere.
Well, I can't remember her name.
The Leanne.
Yeah, Leanne Tweeden. Now, but she's also known, and again, I'm not dismissing any of this.
Right.
It seems to be a real thing.
Yeah.
And
it's a real thing.
And it's abhorrent because it's a real thing.
Yeah, sure, he copped to it.
However, if there is a but with an asterisk next to it, it's that she is known to, in a sense, troll the community for look at me, look at me, look at me. There's a lot of selfie in her life, if you will, right? She's like a non Paris Hilton, but she is always on the fringes of celebrity culture.
Well, she's LA morning radio.
Yeah. And that's how they get known. I mean, you sort of sell yourself by always being present in parties.
That's the trade you're in. I get it. And my point being, if he was unwantedly aggressive to her in a skit, that's it. That's not the ball game.
Yeah.
That's him saying I was a piece of dirt, and read his statement.
Yeah, I have.
I mean, it's honest. It's powerful. It's ownership. Somebody wrote, Facebook. I love it. Somebody wrote add Al Franken to the list. and I wrote the list of people who admitted it, own it, apologize, start the investigation into the action.
Yeah.
That's a pretty fucking short list.
Yeah.
Give me who else is on that list?
Well, to me, it's right up there. Have you ever seen Last Temptation of Christ with Willem Dafoe?
Yeah.
Remember in the scene, and it's a biblical thing when the guy says, let you who cast, without sin cast the first stone.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
But my whole thing is everybody's done something abhorrent in their life in some way or and I hate it when people go, well, mine isn't molestation. Yeah, but it's something else, and it sucks.
Right.
What you did sucks.
Right.
And if I only saw you do that, I would assume and lay judgment that you are a terrible person.
That's who you are. Yeah.
And that's not who Al Franken. I just don't believe this. That is who Al Franken is.
Right. I believe that's who the senatorial candidate from Alabama.
Yeah.
That's who he is.
I do believe that it is our president. I do believe.
I believe that too. Of course, and
because it's over and over and over and over and over and over and over
and everybody in the world is lying but you.
And it's poo-pooed as though
everybody's lying but
it's okay.
That's what drives me nuts about this environment.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Some people are like, you just hate Trump. I was like, okay, let's take a look at the math here. The media is full of shit. The FBI is full of shit.
Yeah.
The judicial system's full of shit.
Everybody except me.
But Donald Trump, this bastion of integrity and honesty, that's the side you're going to jump into?
I'm the first president in 25 years to go to Korea.
Right.
Now, look, we could even say in a situation like that, that's just ignorance and misinformed right? You could literally just say that, like, I'm the only one.
No, I would say,
and not know, because I could say
it's, you could label it ignorance and misinformation, or you could label it, I don't even care if it's true. I'm going to say it.
No, I get it.
But that's everything he does.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's true, because no one else cares if it's true.
Yeah.
So why should I be the guy who cares if it's true?
Yeah.
Because you're in the fucking office, ding dong. That's why you should be the only guy. If no one else cares, at least you should.
Yeah.
This guy in Alabama, though, it's a classic case of, this Mitch McConnell and his cronies are trying to steal the election. Who buys that?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Who buys that fucking... Are you just swallowing this lump shit sandwich so that you'll get your conservative into the position and get your 10 commandments in front of your courthouse?
Well, here's the thing. I don't buy that, just like you don't buy that.
Right.
However, I would tell you, and I know you'll agree with me, that there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on behind the scenes where people are destroying the lives of others for ambition only.
Absolutely.
And I wouldn't be surprised.
In politics,
I wouldn't be surprised if it were that.
Right.
I doubt it's that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised. And granted, it's probably both.
How many?
Right?
No.
In the sense of I've done these things. I mean, you've done these things, and I'm going to take advantage of this and wield political power. Meaning that everybody.
Well, some people shouldn't be in positions of power.
Right. Some people shouldn't podcast.
Some people. I hear you. And if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Some people shouldn't be in positions of power. When this guy's picture was up at the fucking mall, because they warned the women at the mall.
It's like a check writer, right?
They warned the women at the mall to keep an eye on the younger girls because this guy likes to hang around and ask little girls out, ask teenagers out. Did you do that? Well, if I ever did, I asked their mother's permission first. Okay. You didn't ask out teenage girls, but if you did, when you did...
I disclaim it ahead of time.
I asked their mother's permission first.
I made sure it was okay.
Really? That's all these girls are lying. I don't even know where that restaurant is. I guarantee you that's his handwriting.
Yeah.
In the yearbook. I guarantee that. I will put my house on the line.
Yeah.
That this son of a bitch has been a pervert.
Yeah.
And a lech his entire fucking life. But to say they're all liars. Yeah, we rounded up 30-some Alabama women, ages 40 to 70, to get in a conspiracy with Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, of all people,
to keep me out of the Senate. That's what we're going to go with here.
I got a pizza parlor in New York. I want to talk to you about it.
Yeah. Don't go downstairs unless you're looking for fun.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what drives me nuts. And Al Franken's just as guilty as that guy.
What was that joke? Why does Michael Jackson like 25-year-olds? Because there's 20 of them.
20 of them. Yeah.
It's awful. I'm sorry. I said it out loud. But no, it's. But there has to be. I don't believe everything is a conspiracy, and we talked about this a year ago.
Yeah.
But there are things going on that we'll never know, and that there's always the crazy guy somewhere that says, oh, well, there's got to be a conspiracy there. There's got to be. They know better. Right. Whether it's Clinton, Hillary, or Trump's Russia thing, or whatever.
Right.
It's like the dinosaur thing, right? Excuse me, not dinosaurs. Dragons. The idea of the fire-breathing dragon. I know this is a bizarre aside, but legends come from something.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that there was ever a fire-breathing dragon, but let's pretend the Earth is 6,000 years old. Okay. And mankind has been here from the sixth day on. Right? Okay.
Okay.
And then the flood happens. Almost said Moses. The flood happens, and Noah takes all the animals on the ark except the dinosaurs, because God has decided that dinosaurs are just, I don't know, they're just too dangerous. Right?
Yeah.
And so the only ones that would survive would be ones that can fly or ones that can swim, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that means Loch Ness Monster and Ogopogo and a few others.
Right.
They're real because they just got, when the floods subsided, they just got stuck in a mountain lake and they can't get out, right? And that the flying ones would be the dragons that are left over, and then the flame thing, that's just, that's just an add-on, right? But the flying scary thing that's over there, I'm going to call it a dragon. I'm not saying it's not true, but what if it's just that simple, right?
Yeah.
And so I think about these, it's that whole Occam's razor.
Exactly.
If it's probably kind of true.
Yeah, 17 women have accused Donald Trump, but they're all liars.
Yeah, exactly.
And this guy who has cheated at every business deal he's ever done, tried to bankrupt and fuck over every partner he's ever had.
Right.
He's the honest engine here?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I get it. I get why people want their guy to be the good, the savior, the good one, right? Like the last guy, we didn't like the last guy, so I want my guy to be the one. I want him to prove that, we're going to drain the swamp and we're going to do all this stuff.
Right.
But guess what? Your guy's a flake and a narcissistic asshole too.
Who hasn't kept his word about anything.
And two,
ever.
If you think Obama was that guy, well, your guy is too.
Right.
Quit defending him. Just look at him and go, shit, he wasn't the one either.
Nope. No, he was a bigger asshole than all of them so far. Drives me nuts.
So I saw a really cool movie the other day.
Yeah. Smooth. That was top shelf transition.
Actually, I saw a whole bunch of cool movies. My wife went out of town. So I should tell you this really quick. My mom, I love you very much. My mom got very ill and had to be hospitalized, and it was kind of scary.
When?
And week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
You're kidding?
Yeah, it was really kind of scary. And I've got a new company I'm starting, and we have kids in school, and my wife, God bless her, said, I'm going to go down and help mom. And she was gone for about a week. And in that time, I was like, kids are in bed, man, watch a movie. Watch a whole bunch of movies my wife would never be interested in. But two of them, well, I should say more than two, but 3 of the movies I watched, I just loved. I just loved them. So
really?
I want to recommend them.
Okay.
So one is Sicario. Do you know about it? Okay. It's fabulous. Amy Adams is in it.
Is it the drug lord?
It's the drug.
Yes, I know of it.
It's so good.
Really?
Oh gosh, it's so good.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you should watch it. It's
right on.
Really, really good. Very well acted. The second movie was Arrival.
Another Amy Adams movie.
With Amy Adams.
Same
director, by the way.
You had Amy Adams Fest while your wife was at a house?
Oh, boy, did I have an Amy Adams Fest.
Have you seen
the widest teeth I ever came across.
Have you seen Drop Dead Gorgeous?
No, I've never.
Okay, that's Amy Adams as a teenager. You want to see?
No, I don't.
A teenage nymphomaniac.
I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, you do. No, it's actually Drop Dead Gorgeous.
There's another reason to apologize to my mom. I don't want to watch
that. I'm a big Amy Adams fan. Always have been. She was phenomenal in Enchanted, of all things.
Yeah, she's great.
And she's got a small bit part in Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Really?
It's really a Kirsten Dunst movie. Mm-hmm. Okay, you don't know about Drop Dead Gorgeous?
I know about it. I just have never seen it.
Yeah.
It has
Brittany Murphy.
And it has what's her name
Denise
in
Richards.
it? Denise Richards. That's what I was thinking.
Allison Janney.
Really?
She's
like the mom?
No, she's the mom's best friend.
Oh.
The mom's Ellen Barkin, who's a drunk.
Wow. I love Ellen Barkin is in it. I love Ellen Barkin.
She's a drunken tramp, trailer trash mom.
And
Allison Janney's her best friend.
Yeah. 80s Ellen Barkin.
And Kirstie Alley plays the mom of the princess in town.
Wow.
It's about a local beauty pageant in Mount Rose, Minnesota.
Oh.
Miss American Princess.
Sounds delicious.
It's a funnier than fuck. This
Really?
movie is funny. Someone's killing off the contestants to try to win the pageant.
Okay.
It's awesome.
It's got to be a mom.
It's got
to be a mom.
It's the greatest. It's the greatest. You know the Mindy. I don't know her last
Mindy
name.
Kaling?
Yes. No.
Mindy Cohn?
No. From
Natalie.
Right? Yeah, Natalie.
I don't. Those are the only two Mindys I know.
Who's winning her fight against breast cancer? By the way, good for her.
Oh, really?
Yes. She was Frau in the Austin Powers movies.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I know I don't know her last name.
We interviewed her one time. We interviewed her when she was promoting the Austin Powers movies. That's kind of stars we got. We didn't get
87. Excuse me, 97, 98.
Yeah. I said,
you didn't get Robert Wagner?
Nope, didn't get Robert Wagner. Didn't get Michael Myers. Didn't get.
You got the third string.
Got Frau.
She's one of the best parts of that movie. The first movie. It's the other two I just can't do, but the first one is.
We were talking to her, and I said, "Okay, so what's the one piece of work that you're proud of it and most people haven't seen?" I love asking that question of celebrities. What's the one work you've done that you're proud of that people have missed that's worth their time? She's like, "I did this movie about." I said, "Drop Dead Gorgeous." She's like, "You know it?" We said, "I love that movie."
Wow,
it's brilliant.
Really?
It's brilliant comedy, brilliant black comedy.
Okay, well, so I watched Arrival. Have you seen it?
I have seen Arrival.
It's fabulous.
It is fabulous. It really is. That's where they're like decipher the
code.
Yeah.
And have you noticed how the code is circular? I thought that was really cool.
Oh yeah.
So I love the idea of the flashbacks, or not necessarily flashbacks.
Right.
I just thought that was great.
Fantastic movie.
Or excuse me, that you don't know they're flashbacks until you realize they're flashbacks.
Right.
And then I watched The Witch.
What's The Witch?
I am not a horror movie guy. I was in high school when I think I watched my last horror movie. Right. It is phenomenal.
Really?
It's phenomenal.
Who's in it? Amy Adams.
Nope, a whole bunch of people you've never heard of. Whole bunch of British actors.
Really?
It's set in 1630 colonial America.
Right.
Like, New Hampshire.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In the middle of nowhere.
Salem witch trials. Yeah.
And it is phenomenal. But you have to. I'm telling you, if you don't watch this movie with subtitles, you had to have been born in 16th century Ireland.
Really.
Oh yeah, it's great. What? I was like,
Really?
I 2 minutes in, I turned it on, reversed it back to the beginning, and watched the movie with subtitles.
No kidding.
I could not understand a word they said.
Wow, The Witch, huh?
It is phenomenal.
Newer movie?
It is new. It came out a year ago, but it just showed up on. It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
So I want to be careful, but I highly recommend it. It's about a family that chooses banishment from their village because the Puritan village that they're a part of isn't pure enough.
Oh wow!
The father is a hardcore, like over the top Puritan.
Yeah.
And they were already over the top, but he's like the Puritan of the Puritans, and he's accusing them of whatever the term would be. Like Jack Puritans.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the term is, but
lapse.
Yeah, I guess so. And they set off to start a new life in the wilderness as a family, and the movie is just about the family. So it's like 6 people the whole time.
Wow.
And it just builds and builds and builds.
They build their cabin next to a gingerbread house.
It
all goes sideways.
Pretty much. Well, the insinuation is maybe.
Yeah.
Right. And it's it's psychological drama. So it's not a horror movie in any shape. There are 2 yucky scenes, but they are so short. I mean, so it's R-rated, rightfully so, because it is just threatening.
Is it disturbing?
Yeah. So here's the thing. I know you and your whole, ever since you told me about Casino and the baseball bat, you cried. You're a little bitch.
I am a little bitch. I never needed to see that.
But this movie, it doesn't do that. However, it does. You know how the Sylvester Stallone movie, the climbing movie, Cliffhanger starts with a person dying.
Yeah.
Rennie Harlan, who directed that movie, who I was a fan of, said I try to put some element of drama in the beginning of a movie, so it constantly reminds film goers, during the movie that anything is possible because I kill a major character in the very beginning of the movie, right?
Okay.
That's not necessarily the case with The Witch, but there is a setup. There's a thing that occurs that basically says all bets are off. Right in, we're talking like in the first 6 minutes of the movie, and so you're just like the whole time.
Yeah.
And again, it's almost completely bloodless. There is no foul language.
Mm-hmm. Or appearance.
There is a slight, you see a person's butt, slight nudity. It's basically a PG movie. Seriously. But it's the threat, the constant threat of violence that makes it R, because it's just like, I'm
looking forward to it.
And what's great about it, Spike, you'll love it because it, I guess, what's the term when a movie really represents something else? It's not about really what you think it's about at all.
Okay.
But what I loved about it was, what if the very thing you're afraid of, you're creating? I love that idea.
Nice.
And so it made me think about Trump. It made me think, and I'm not saying it's not true.
Okay.
I'm saying, what if we're creating a monster by bringing a guy in who's not smart enough to know he's a monster, and then you constantly say, as a culture, this he's a narcissist, he's a dickweed,
right.
he's kind of dumb, he's loud and abrasive, and he doesn't think the world fights fair. So we condition him to turn him into something we're afraid of, and he becomes that because we let him. Because we start saying, you know what, you're an asshole, I'm not going to pay attention anymore. We go over here, and he's over there becoming an asshole that's going to destroy the world.
Right. Well,
that's what The Witch is about.
Okay.
It's fabulous, and I highly recommend people watch it. Nice. Highly recommend it. Outside of that, I watched the last Mission Impossible movie.
Still Tom Cruise?
Rogue Nation.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Is it?
Very fun.
Yeah.
Very,
I haven't seen a movie. I haven't seen an adult movie in so long. I don't mean adult movie. I mean, I haven't gone to see a real movie.
You watched Sing?
The animated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
It's okay.
I loved it.
Did you really?
I cried.
Did you really?
I did. When
elephant?
Scarlett, no, I was like, she's fat. I don't care. I was like, well, she deserves it. She's fat.
Yeah.
No, it's Scarlett Johansson, the porcupine, sings at the end.
Oh, beautiful.
I literally cried.
Yeah, it is.
I was like, good for you, little skunk.
You
know what I mean? She's not a skunk. You know what I mean?
It was a cute movie. Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I did. I loved it. Matthew McConaughey was awesome as the ringleader, the boss, the teddy bear, the koala bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that who that was? Matthew McConaughey?
That's Matthew McConaughey.
I couldn't have told you who that guy character was. I couldn't have told you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I did that. I almost died of pneumonia.
Twice?
Yeah.
I feel like I've been boring.
Yeah. My mom, everybody's better. My wife is doing great. She's cuter than ever. My kids are doing really well in school. My poor daughter, though, I got to say this. Not that this nobody cares really. My little 6-year-old, she's too bright. She's bright. I mean, she's a brilliant kid.
Yeah.
She's the kid who, she should be in what do you call it? Class for the gifted.
Yeah.
And yet you don't kind of want to put her in there because there's this weird thing that goes with that.
Right. They all move blocks with their minds.
Right.
And shit.
Exactly.
What fun is that?
Right. It's like, I don't want her to become 11 from
right.
Stranger Things. But the thing is she didn't get picked for it because she missed it by half percentile. It's like 97%. She got like a 96.5. And so they wouldn't move her in.
Yeah.
And she's way too advanced for first grade.
Yeah.
She should be like in fourth grade.
Yeah.
And so she's bored.
Yeah.
And she's lonely. And on top of it, she's super precocious. So she's like, hey, everybody, come play with me. I'm so smart.
Yeah. She's you.
Yeah, she's me. And so when she goes out on the playground, She's a monkey bar freaking master.
Yeah.
She can not only can she just do it, she could do it for like an hour back and never come down, which is crazy. She loves. I mean, she does it with blisters on her hand. She's like, Dad, look, I'm so tough, and she just does it anyway. It's insane. She'll skip like 6 bars at a time. I mean, she's just a beast. And so the other kids see her as a show off.
Yeah.
Oh, you're smart, you're beautiful, and you're better than me at that. And she tells you, look, she sees a kid do the bars, and so she wants to one up them.
Yeah, competitive too. Yeah.
And not realizing she's annoying them.
Yeah.
And so she came home from school yesterday, and she had sad face. And I go, honey, what's going on? She's like, nobody likes me. She actually said, I hate life. And I'm like, you're 6. I hate life. She said that. And the first thing I thought of is this, oh my God, do I have to worry about my kid committing suicide? She's 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just.
So what are you going to do?
I don't know. I mean, we have the counseling thing next week, and I asked my wife to tell the teacher kind of, and I don't want any special favors.
Right.
But
of course
can we? Well, I mean, I just want her to be with people.
Happy, normal. Yeah.
I want her to be around people that challenge her.
Right.
And and I told Cadence, I said, baby, you got to stop showing up everybody.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, you're smarter than them. You're faster than them. You're funnier than them. You're all these other things. But guess what? They don't want to be reminded.
Yeah.
You've got to, and granted, she's got to learn, right? We've been playing sorry with her and just beating the shit out of her every time.
Yeah.
And she cries every time. And I'm like, Cadence, you got to get used to losing. Winning, you're a winner. But winners still lose.
They know how to lose.
You just learn.
Right.
You got to learn how to lose. Mommy loses, daddy loses, your brothers lose. And she's like, but I haven't won yet. It's the truth. She hasn't won yet. We all beat her. And the other day, it was a 50-50. She's got all 3. She's got 3 of her 4 characters in. I got 3 of my 4 characters in. We're both each one spot away. And it was just whoever got lucky. Yeah. That's all it was. Whoever got lucky and got the number 1 card, and I got it, and I was like, and I almost wanted to slide in and go, I'm sorry, honey, it's an 8. You know what I mean? Just to slide her in, but I beat her, and she looked at me, and I go, I'm sorry, honey, and she goes, that's okay, and she sets the stuff down, and I knew it wasn't okay. Sets the stuff down, and she's acting really tough, brave face. And then I go, so what do you want to do? And I kind of grab her and pick her up and put her on my arm, and she puts her head in my shoulder and starts. And I can feel like wet on my arm, and she's being really quiet. She doesn't want me to know she's crying.
Right.
I'm like, honey, you know what I mean? So anyway, those are the things I've been up to. So now that I've talked way too much, and I don't know how much time we are limited now. Oh, it's not even noon yet.
Yeah.
But why don't you fill us in on what's going on in the world of Spike O'Neill? At KZOK.
We started that with that.
Let's go back there.
We're about to do the I don't know, man. I've been watching The World the last few weeks, month since we've had a chance to get together. And I'm mystified that people are just I don't even know how to phrase this. How much longer can this shit show go on?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's whether it's politics or it's the climate of sexual harassment or whatever. I'll give you. We'll edit that out. That's nothing there. We haven't already talked about it a zillion times. I almost broke up with football.
What?
I almost broke up with
because
football.
of the knee thing.
What knee thing?
The take a knee thing?
No, God, no.
I was like, you pussy.
No. Fuck that shit.
I'm all for that.
I'm all for the take a knee
I was in the
thing.
military for 7 years, and you guys can kiss my ass.
Yeah.
That is exactly why I went in the military. So people could go, you know what? Fuck you.
I know.
I don't like
no,
this.
I'm all about take a knee.
So,
although I think the NFL missed a golden
Mom.
opportunity. No, I think the NFL missed a golden opportunity. The whole team should stand for the anthem. Then the whole team should take a knee as soon as it ends.
Yeah.
Every one of them in perfect unison. The whole league.
People don't seem to understand that take a knee is an act of honor.
Yeah.
It's not an act of defiance.
Well, they don't know. The supreme leader told them they should be pissed.
Yeah, I know.
That's
yeah,
why.
But who actually? I mean, except for the people who vote for him, which is clearly Not actually the majority of the country.
It's a third.
Well, how come people are so up in arms? I mean, and please don't tell me it's all the media, because all the media does not agree with Trump. How come it became such a big deal? That's what I want to know.
What do you mean about the knee?
Yeah, I mean, how did it become such a thing that I'm supposed to be upset by it? Because I wasn't upset by it.
They needed something, his base needed something to be right about.
Or something to distract us from?
Oh, well, of course that's what he was doing. You look.
No, that's not a conspiracy. Those are truths.
Yeah,
that happens all the time.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Of course. That's.
Right,
are you kidding me? As a con artist?
Right. That's what magicians do.
Yeah.
I'm not bending the spoon.
I call how Trump governs 3-branch Monty. Is what I call it.
Nice 3-branch Monty.
Yeah.
That's well played.
Thank you. That's how he governs. That's original. I copyrighted that.
Yeah.
No, I was at a tailgate for the Seahawks, and someone asked me about the knee, and I gave him my perspective. And they're like, okay. And he was firmly against.
Oh, I heard about this.
Yeah. And then I think I might have talked about it on the air.
Oh, yeah. That's what it was.
Well, yeah. And that he brought over another guy. Tell him what you told me about the knee.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Spike O'Neill.
Tell him what you told me about why it's okay. Why the knee? Why the knee?
Yeah.
I'm all for Colin Kaepernick being Citizen of the Year. I went on the air the other day.
I thought so too. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I went on the
that was awesome.
You know what? Okay. Yeah, J.J. Watt raised $37 million, and that's great because he's J.J. Watt. I'm not diminishing that in any way, shape, or form.
Yep.
J.J. Watt contributed $50,000 to the Hurricane Relief Fund of his own money.
Yeah.
Kaepernick donated $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know, J.J. Watt raised $37 million.
He's buying our affection.
That's fine. Yeah. Kaepernick put his entire livelihood on the line.
Yeah.
Everything he is.
Yep, I agree.
That's
I agree 1,000%.
For people other than himself.
And you know what? He went like this with his fro. I'm telling you, that
totally.
fro is totally.
It's a middle
and by
fro.
the way, take this, middle America.
Absolutely.
This is a black man.
Yeah.
Telling you what you can do with your flag.
I think that's powerful. Not with your flag.
No, but I mean, I'm saying they think that.
No, of course they do.
That's what's so great about it. It's so subversive. I loved it.
Well, it's sad though when it's so easy to be so much smarter,
right,
than the mouth breathing masses.
Right. It's never been about the flag.
It's never been about the flag or the police department. Now, talk to Doug Baldwin.
Yeah.
Tell him it's a disrespect to the military and the police. Tell Doug Baldwin that shit.
Yeah.
He'll school you up quick.
Yeah.
No, I almost broke up with football because of the Seahawk Redskin loss and the Husky Stanford loss. Because
Sorry.
No, because I invest so much emotionally in these seasons and this team. Because I truly love the environment. I love the game. I love the players that we have. I love the personalities. I do. I love it. And then I'm watching the Stanford Cardinals beat the Huskies because I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
But and then the season's over for them.
Yeah.
They won't even make the Pac-12 championship.
Yeah.
A week before that game, we're talking about how do they play their way into the Final Four?
Right.
And now we're like, okay, now they'll welcome Sun Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful El Paso, Texas welcomes you.
Bowl. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But and I ended up snapping at my daughter over something stupid because the Huskies lost. And I'm thinking, you know what? Life's too short.
Yeah.
Life's too short to buy all in and let that control how my life goes and how I treat my family. Fuck that. So I mean, I'm still. I'll go to the game on Monday night to see the Hawks play the Falcons.
Well, that's because you have season tickets.
I do. I know. Yeah.
You kind of almost have to.
Well, you do. Otherwise, you throw money down the toilet.
Yeah.
But you know what? If they lose, which I fully think they probably are gonna.
Yeah, I actually expect it.
It's not going to destroy my day. It's not going to destroy my week. It's not going to. I'm not going to have a blue Christmas.
Yeah.
Because the Hawks are. Maybe this ain't their year, and we know about it in week 10.
Yeah,
and that might not be the case. I don't know, and I'll be excited when they win. But I'm not going down with a ship.
But as a fair weather fan, meaning me, not you.
Yeah.
I will take the Utah Jazz. Remember in the 90s, they were
Karl Malone,
always second place.
Yeah.
I'll take the Utah Jazz all day over a team that shits the bed. Because at least we're almost there. At least they give me hope. And I'm not talking about crushing you. Yeah. We could just always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Right.
But I love a team that is always competing, and they were always competing. Mm-hmm. Our team, I want that out of them. I don't want spurts of awesome and then runs of awful.
Right.
Which is, I mean, it almost feels like a Seattle curse. Like we just get a team once in 25 years that just hits it out of the park and that can never repeat it and then just toys with us until they eventually rebuild.
Well, I mean, it's funny. This city had hurt for so long.
Yeah.
And then you had the Seahawk run of 2 Super Bowls in a row, and it should have been 2 wins in a row.
Yeah.
And now that's the only.
And they should have won the XL.
They should have.
Because that was not a touchdown.
When
yeah. Not Kappa, excuse me.
Roethlisberger.
Yeah. He's like a foot away.
I know, yeah.
But anyway.
The pass interference on us in the end zone.
Crazy.
Roethlisberger's touchdown. There's a bunch of it.
Yeah.
But this city now, it's like nothing else is good enough. And I mean, unless you're the fucking, I hate to say it, unless you're the Patriots, you don't go all the time. You don't win all the time.
Yeah.
When was the last time the Packers won a Super Bowl? It's been almost a decade.
A long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Broncos have won,
but they are perennials.
3. Well, no less than us.
Right. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm glad.
I'm glad we're in that.
We're in the perennials.
We've reached that group of 7.
Yeah,
maybe.
It's not 88 anymore.
Right. It's not 2 and 14.
Yeah,
and that's cool. But I was devastated when the Hawks lost the Cardinals, or not the Cardinals, the Redskins.
Yeah, it was awful.
It was a brutal. Because we were playing like shit.
Yeah.
But then you've got this faith in these guys. Like when they beat the Packers and went to their second Super Bowl, that was like a miraculous comeback. It was a miracle.
Yeah.
800 things had to go your way, and they all did.
That was like the greatest game
It was.
ever. It was the greatest game. To me, it was the greatest game ever.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Are
you kidding me?
Yeah, and I was there, and I watched it, and I'm like, wow, and I want that feeling all the time.
Yeah.
But now I had the realization the last couple of weeks, both with the Huskies and the Seahawks, that's just not how it is.
No.
And I'm not going to let that.
You've been snorting coke for 2 years,
buddy. I'm not gonna die because miracles don't happen every goddamn Sunday.
Yeah, you just gotta let it go.
Yeah, life's too short for me to go down with this ship.
Oh man,
So I almost broke up with football.
Oh man,
almost. It's funny. When we had a nationally televised game here, I think it was the Sunday night game we played or something. We had a national game. I almost put my Statue of Liberty costume on to wear to the game so I could kneel during the anthem.
Wow.
Just to piss my brother off. It would be great.
Light the flag on fire. This is real liberty.
Yeah.
Right.
Somebody did a political cartoon about that. The Statue of Liberty kneeling.
Yeah.
I printed it, put up on my office wall.
Was it Dave Horsey?
It might have been a horsey. That sounds like a horsey move.
Yeah, totally.
But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cute.
That's cool.
It's right next to my Donald Trump Mad Magazine cover.
Nice.
Take your kids to work every day. Have you seen that one? Oh, they nailed it. Alfred E. Newman is Jared Kushner. I mean, it's like, wow. I never noticed how much.
I never thought Mad Magazine was timely. I never read it. I don't think I've ever.
Really?
No, not
once.
I
lived on it as a kid.
Not once. I mean, I remember taking the back page.
Making the cute little.
But I never read it. I just thought it was weird. Cracked and all that stuff.
I lived on
all
that
all the what's his name, the pervy animator that drew all the like Fritz the Cat and all that stuff. It was just all
Fritz Freeling.
It was all that weird. Subversive comedy that was over my head. I was, the almost like the lampoon type stuff. I just didn't get it. Yeah. I was the wrong age. I was a little too young for it. Well, so we got to end. You got to move on to.
I got to go do radio.
Bigger and better things.
That's good.
Any last thoughts before we skedaddle? I think we should get together one more time before the end.
I
of the
agree
year.
completely. I was going to just say that I appreciate the patience of those of you who have been waiting for us to do something else.
Yeah.
And I apologize to you.
All three of you.
Yeah, all three of you. Let's not name them by name. It's embarrassing to their families.
They already know anyway.
And they know who they are. I miss you.
Yes.
That's what I want to end with more than anything. I miss doing this a lot, but I miss you more.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing this with you, and I want to. As I move into a world where I don't have two jobs anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing about my last couple years and my last couple months and my last couple weeks and my last couple days is that I've crossed the bridge and I only have one job now.
That's a good thing. So let me ask you this then before we cut out. So does this mean I might be able to ask for a job down there?